Well, friends, many of you read the letter that I sent the congregation on Friday via email. And if you didn't read it, I encourage you to make sure you sign up for our emails. We'd love to have you stop by afterwards, jot your email address down so you get correspondence from us, because we communicate a lot with you during the week. This past week, we sent out an e-news, we sent out a staffing update, we sent out this letter, we sent out the prayer list. So those are important emails in the life of the church. The last time I stood before you, this was a couple months ago, to talk with you about the denomination, the United Methodist Church. And a couple months ago, we were hopeful that there was a possibility that the Texas Annual Conference, our conference within, there's four conferences in the state of Texas. The Texas Annual Conference is the one we belong to. There was a possibility that the Texas Annual Conference could potentially this year vote ourselves out entirely to the new Global Methodist Church. The Global Methodist Church started May 1st of this year. It takes the current United Methodist understanding of Scripture and theology and preserves that, because we understand that in the coming years, the United Methodist Church is going to take a hard swing to the progressive side in our understanding of Scripture on a variety of topics. We kind of see that as the forecast of our denomination, as has been the case in most other mainline denominations. So the hope was that we would leave as an entity to the Global Methodist Church. Well, the Judicial Council ruled, which is the Methodist version of our Supreme Court, they ruled about 10 days ago that it is unconstitutional for a United Methodist Conference in the United States to vote themselves entirely over to another denomination, because there's no precedent for it. And so no conference can vote themselves out until General Conference happens in 2024. This General Conference should have happened in 2020. It was postponed to 2021. It was postponed to 2022, and they punted on it again this year to 2024. So until legislation is passed, if legislation gets passed, the annual conference cannot leave, which all of a sudden means that the burden of leaving the United Methodist Church for the Global Methodist Church falls solely on the local church. And this is a seismic shift and departure from what we expected to happen this year. And so our Board of Stewards, which is our lay leadership of the church, they are hard at work at evaluating all the possible options for us here at Faith in order to present them to you. So there's a lot of questions, like, do we leave now, or do we wait for General Conference in 2024? If anything actually changes at General Conference in 2024. What does it look like to leave now? What does it mean to remain United Methodist, knowing that there is going to be a drastic shift in our theological stances on a variety of topics? What does it look like to remain United Methodist? You know, these are all good questions, and they deserve good and thoughtful answers. And so our Board of Stewards is working diligently to obtain those answers. One of the ways that we needed to obtain answers was to formally kick off a discernment process. And so the Board of Stewards this week voted to give me permission to initiate with our district superintendent a discernment process for leaving our denomination. Because there's some factors into, like, does this cost? How much does this cost? Our conference will not give the number until you officially enter the discernment process. So we can't make informed decisions until we get the number, and that means that we had to initiate this discernment process this week. A lot has changed since I talked to you about this 2 months ago. A lot has changed in the last 2 weeks. And more is going to change between now and the end of annual conference. Annual conference starts next Sunday. It goes through June the 1st. But myself, along with the Board of Stewards, plan on being able to provide you with a preliminary update the Sunday after annual conference, June the 5th, and thereafter schedule a town hall meeting sometime in June to present our findings, to show you what our options are, and to give our proposed course of action. That's a big announcement. Lots have changed, and things are moving quicker than anybody expected. Well, one of the things I need you to do is to pray for the church. I need you to remain calm as you pray for the church. There's uncertainty. There's uncertainty about a lot of things in life, but we've got to remain calm as a people. I need you to pray for the pastors. I need you to pray for our board of stewards. I need you to pray for the delegates who are going to conference in a week. We're all involved in a lot of very deep conversations in order to present to you the clearest possibilities because things have changed so rapidly. And I need you to also pray for the other churches that are dealing with this. Our conference leadership anticipates that nearly 60% of the local churches in our annual conference, there's over 600 churches in our annual conference, about 60% of them are going to be talking about this and discerning whether or not they want to move to the Global Methodist Church. So friends, we are not alone in this discernment process.